How's it, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tourism Talks podcast. I'm your host, JD, and we're sitting with Jason here, part of the Ocean Blue Adventures or Safaris. What do you call yourself? Adventures. Ocean Blue Adventures. You'll see we've got the nice beach sitting in the background. It's a nice quiet day, so we decided to do it outdoors. So if you do hear the beach, I'm sorry. If you're longing for the beach, I'm really sorry. All right. Jason, quickly tell us a bit more about yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from?
My name is Jason, originally from Kimberley, the Northern Cape.
The Kimberley, the place with the big hole.
That's the place, yeah.
You know, I read in an article the other day that they're planning to move the Kimberley's hole because it's not an accessible area. So what they're going to do is they're going to dig a new big hole somewhere and just fill up the Kimberley hole with the dirt so they can move the hole.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
It's always been there for quite a few years now. So.
No, okay. So you're from Kimberley.
Yeah,
how the hell you end up here?
So, yes, it's actually funny. I was quite good with my athletics.
Yeah?
And things didn't really work out for me in Kimberley. And I actually met one guy, also from Plet. Actually saw all my medals and stuff that I have at home. All the stuff that I achieved when I was in high school. And he actually told me to come to Plet because there's lots of opportunities here.
Yeah.
So, 2015 I actually decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna come to Plet. When I arrived here, I actually found out they don't really have athletics here because
No.
I was doing track and field, like 100 meters, 200 meters. And the closest place where I could actually go and do that was Oudtshoorn.
Oudtshoorn or George as well. George is a good training facility, but Oudtshoorn has the Tartan bar course.
So, I also found this job here on the beach. I was a beach crew. I was doing all the fuels and load the boats and stuff. So I actually fall in love with the job. And
nice.
I was like, no, you know what? I really don't want to move. I want to do this. I want to work on the boats and also working with the animals. It's really nice for me. So because I was playing rugby as well in high school, I started playing rugby here.
Oh, yeah?
Because we have a local rugby club here in Plet. I'm still playing for them.
Nice. What are you, like a winger?
I'm a winger, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, number 11. So that's how I started here. Almost 9 years later.
It's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so I started with offshore adventures and ocean safaris.
Yeah.
When I started working on the beach. And then about early last year, I actually moved over to Ocean Blue.
Awesome. Well, this is such a nice setting, and I mean, this is Moby Beach, right?
Central Beach.
Central Beach, right? Moby is just
further
to the
down.
left. Okay, so it's like there's no beacon to Malacca off, but it's somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's such a nice setting because you're in this little bay. It's nice and sheltered, so you don't really need a dock or anything. You guys do beach launches all the time.
Beach launches, yeah.
So that's amazing. It's a nice little setup. But before I go into the boats and things, you said you do track and fields, 100 and 200 meters, right?
I was quite good at it.
Quite good. And what did you do? Compete in the school level or advanced?
School level, yeah.
Okay, at school level.
I was running essays.
Essays as well. Wow.
And
like what was your time on the 100 meters?
10.02.
10.02. Hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like Brian Abana's levels, almost.
Almost, yeah, I would say.
No, that's awesome. Okay. And so you got here and basically you took the beachhead crew deck or beach crew job just to do a job, right?
Yeah,
you didn't have in your mind anything to do with tourism, really?
No, not at all. Not at all.
And now you're in it. It's interesting how people get into certain divisions. Like, okay, I grew up in tourism my whole life. I've been doing tours since I was 12.
Yes, that's a long time.
So I've been in the business my whole life, and but I've spoken to a couple of people now, and some of them started off really late. The one guy I spoke to, he only started thinking about doing a tourism-oriented job at age 28, and then he only started doing some courses and went into it. I mean, you were lucky enough to find it at a young age and find that passion. You seem like a very extroverty type of people. You like chatting. You've got this smile. So you like chatting to people. And I mean, it's a business that suits someone with your personality. All right. Now, you started off as a beach crew, and you said you filled in petrol and so on.
Boats, get boats ready, and all that. And then in 2017
Yeah.
was actually when I got my skipper's license
Nice.
for the under 9-meter boats. And yeah, I was a skipper for Ocean Safaris and Offshore Adventure Zone. And last year, when I actually moved over to Ocean Blue, I actually did my big boat skipper's license. So now I'm
Nice.
doing the
How does the
process.
skippers work? Because I've looked into it before. Do you know the ins and outs? Because I know for like under 10 horsepower, you don't need a skippers. Or if you're going in rivers or something like that.
Yeah. No, you actually do need a
Still,
skippers
okay.
for rubber as well. So you have a
Yeah,
rubber skipper.
but I mean, under a certain horsepower, I read, because I wanted to do my skippers like a couple of years ago. And I said, I think it was under 5 or under
It's
10.
5, under
Under
5,
5.
under
Oh,
5
okay. So
horsepower,
under
so
5 horsepower, you don't
you
need
don't
it.
really need a skipper.
And you said you did a skippers for under 9?
Under 9 meters.
Under 9
These
meters.
The ones we have is always the 12-seater boats.
12-seater boats.
Yeah.
And then you went and you did an even bigger
Yeah.
skipper
Category
course.
C, that's over 9 meters.
Over 9 meters. Is there like a next advanced level for the big yachts or something?
Not really in my
Not in
my
your
plans, yeah.
not in your plans. Okay, but there is licenses
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can go and do some yacht licenses and all that.
Okay, that's crazy. Can you drive those big MSC Marine
Yeah.
boats and stuff? That's epic.
But to be honest, I don't think I ever really want to do anything else
And this.
than
Oh, no, it's epic. Okay. So when you go out, what is the goal for you? When you launch your boat, you're in the water, what is the goal? What do you plan to see?
Dolphins.
Dolphins? All right, that's always everyone's
yeah.
favorite probably.
I mean, that's what we do when
Is
the
it?
dolphin
Okay, yeah.
watching. Yeah. So yeah, your main focus will always be finding the dolphins. Also, this time of the year, it's whale
Whales,
season.
yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
just started.
Yeah, we just started with whale season.
Yeah,
So
nice.
yeah, we go out, find whales, and then Roebuck Peninsula. I'm sure you know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's our seal colony, and that's where we'll always end up with our tour and then make our way back.
So when you do this tour, you're basically guaranteed you're going to see seals at least.
Seals are always guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, dolphins and whales, not really.
It's not
because
really.
They always travel
But I mean, there's a massive ocean. They could
Yeah.
be anywhere.
anywhere.
What's your kind of success rate in finding these animals?
But dolphins, I would say maybe 80%
Oh, wow, that's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So you've got a good chance of finding them.
of finding them. Yeah, whales, especially in whale season, I would say 95%.
Yeah, well, they're a bit bigger. And they can be seen from a distance.
You
I
can't
mean,
miss them.
I got the blow coming out.
And also the nice thing with our company is we will always have people sitting on the viewpoints
Okay.
before the boats even launch. So sometimes they actually see the whales before we launch.
What do they do? The whale tail? Wait.
No, we actually use the single U.
Okay, yes.
And
Okay.
then sometimes they will go to Roebuck.
Nice.
Especially with the humpbacks, you have to go and find them behind
Robert.
Roebuck. Yeah.
So are they more deeper
Yeah,
waters?
they always travel behind Roebuck,
Robert, okay.
making their way to Texas Francis Point.
Nice. And then
so-
the southern rights are a bit closer.
Southern
to
rights are always a bit closer. So
I had an amazing experience with southern right whales. I can't remember if it was Jason, the other Jason with me, or Cameron. I can't remember which one. We were off Kerbums and surfing there. It was just the two of us in the water. And we'd been surfing for a while and the whale came closer. So we paddled out like beyond the breakpoint to go meet up with the whale. And we sat there for a bit. And then we noticed she had a cough. So we backed off a little bit, obviously being nervous because you're on the surfboard and you don't know how she's going to react. So we backed off a little bit. And we paddled to just behind the breakpoint, and we were laying with our backs on the board. So normally you sit up on your surfboard. We were lying with our backs on the surfboard, looking up at the sky, basically,
the sun.
enjoying the sun and just a rest, you know. And we were facing the beach, and the next moment you just hear this. It's an indescribable sound actually, because there's this hollow like
When they come up and
when they came up, and she had come up just behind us. Scared the living daylights out of us, because the first thing we think is like she's angry now, we made her angry. And then we saw she had the calf in between her and us was the calf. So she was kind of guiding the calf, showing off the calf. And that was one of my favorite experiences with whales out in the ocean is, I mean, you're in the surfboard, you're close to this, it's such a nice encounter. And I'm pretty sure you guys have loads of encounters like that and pretty amazing reactions from the people when they get a whale for the first time.
100%. I
Is it?
mean, like I said, I've been working on the ocean for so long now, and I have to say last year was actually my best sightings
Oh, yeah?
ever. The first one was with a southern right whale,
Yeah?
same as you. He was getting quite curious, so he actually came right up to the boat. I mean, he was like probably a meter from the boat, and
Wow.
I could actually manage to get a selfie with him.
No way.
That was really nice. And then the second one was just behind Whale Rock.
Yeah?
I was out with a small boat actually, under 12 meters, under 9 meters, sorry.
Yeah,
And I picked up, I think it was 20 or 22 humpback whales traveling together in one solid group. That was unbelievable.
Crazy.
I mean, they also got so curious. Other whales were jumping, others were coming closer to the boat. Because at first I was like, I mean, we have to be 50 meters away from them at least. But they were getting curious. They were coming right up to us, circling around the boat. It was a bit scary, but I mean, after a few minutes, you could actually see that now they're just here to check us out. Yeah, so they were playing around with their fins, flipping their fins. Other whales were jumping, and yeah, that was for me was my best trip. So far.
Like for you, I mean, you see them every day, but I can just imagine the passengers, the people sitting there, what an experience this is for them.
I mean,
and the emotions that they go through of this amazement and awe, and you probably have people crying from time to time.
Yeah,
Is it?
a lot.
That's awesome.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I go out almost every single day, and still, I enjoy it so much. Just be there, spend some time with the animals. So, I mean, if you come here for your first time and you actually see these animals, because not a lot of people actually get the opportunity to go so close to them. So yeah, when they go out on the boat, sometimes, especially when the whales come up to the boat, shoot, some people just lose it. I mean, I had this one guy. He was actually running up to me because I was standing behind the console. He was running up to me, grabbed me, and he just thanked me so much. For him, it was just unbelievable.
See, that's something with nature guiding. Anything to do with nature is the reward of something like that. Because a lot of these people that come to us, I mean, they come from the cities. My wife is a perfect example of this. She comes from the city, right? She grew up in the Pretoria area. She'd known about cows, but I mean, I don't think she'd ever seen a cow before she met me. And recently now during COVID, I worked on a farm, and right next door was a dairy farm. And oftentimes you'd have to drive like through the cows, dodging the cows, because they're on their way to get milked or back to the fields. And she would drive and be like, they're so big. I didn't know they're so big, you know? And so these experiences we get, like I said, a lot of the foreigners come from towns or cities, America, even in Europe. If you're from London and UK, you're not used to these animals. And I can just imagine it's such an overwhelming experience for them. So my company, we do tours with meerkats out in the bush, and we have the same. People have this, and each person reacts differently. Some people start laughing uncontrollably. And you have this guy coming and hugging you, and you get people that cry. And always the first time I see someone cry, I'm like, "Are you okay, kid?" And they're like, "No, they're crying. It's a happy cry." You're always a bit nervous, you know.
Also noticed that.
Yeah. So you got to make sure. Well, we make sure, but it's always just everyone's so happy.
Yeah.
Now you said, okay, you have to be within 50 meters. What is the rules of engagement with marine wildlife? Because I know there's laws about not being able to approach them or.
So
what's the rules of engagement for you guys?
Yeah, like obviously you have to do it really slow.
Yeah.
You don't want to scare them off.
Oh well, that's bad for you as well because you're not going to see the animal.
Exactly. So yeah, you're also not really allowed to approach them from the back or even from the front. So you will always come and sneak in like next to them.
All right.
So from the side you will try and sneak in.
That's a very common tactic.
Yeah.
I was speaking to, I think it was Benny yesterday. I think it was sorry, it wasn't Benny. It was Anthony. It's another guy that I spoke to from Wide Open Spaces, and me and him were discussing in field guiding school. You get taught how to approach animals, and you don't approach them head on. You always, like you said, you come in from the side.
From the side.
So it looks like you're just going to be passing by, and that brings you in closer.
I mean,
so
he has to be able to see.
Hundreds. Yeah. You don't want to spook them and then have them dive down and never. How long can a whale be under water for?
Well. The ones like the southern rights here, also the humpbacks, when they travel, it's always between 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, hectic.
But it always depends on
the
how
species
fast they
and why they want to,
and what they actually do. But I mean, they can also stay underwater for up to 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Even longer sometimes. if
I know
they really
sperm
want
whales, when they're diving down to hunt, they can be under for more than an hour sometimes. So
to. Yeah.
it's hectic. So it all depends on the whale species as well. All right. Now, you said the two most common species you get is the humpback and the southern right whale. But I know recently you've been having visits from the orcas, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think it's about 2 months ago,
Yeah?
where I also had a group of 16 of them in the plane.
Orcas.
Kilo West.
Whoa!
That was really
I
amazing.
knew of two. I know port and starboard. Oh,
Those are the ones that make
two
all
naughty
the
ones.
chaos with the great whites and
yeah.
stuff. Well, just last week we actually saw a video
Yeah?
on TikTok of one of the fishermen, local fishermen. He was just behind Robert,
Yeah?
and he actually took a video of the killer whales hunting on bronze whalers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had his bronze whaler right in his mouth, swimming around with it.
Hectic. I'm actually going to go look up for that. It's amazing. I love these type of videos.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was for me, and we work on the boats and we didn't even know about it until we saw the video. And I also know the guy personally,
Yeah?
the one that took the video, and I actually went to him and asked him, like, when did you take this video? He said, no, just last week. And we were wondering, like, because this is also supposed to be our shark season.
Yeah?
And yeah, there's no sharks.
No way.
I mean, always between mid-May until end of September. That's when we have lots of great whites cruising in the bay. But for this year, no sharks.
Hectic. Yeah, because I mean, Plet's been under hammer with the great whites recently. I've heard there was quite a lot of shark attacks on the
especially
surface.
since last year.
Yeah.
Last year,
But now it's quiet, you said.
yeah. But I mean, it makes sense. Those killer whales.
If those killer whales in the area, the great whites disappear. And now, I read an interesting article a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, 2-3 months ago probably, with the great whites disappearing. Because they had this problem in Gansbaai as well. Obviously, they do the shark cage diving there. And if there's no sharks, there's no shark
They
cage
can't
diving.
dive.
And they said that, well, they blamed the killer whales. Right now, yes, the killer whales, if they do move in, the sharks will move away because it's not safe for them everywhere. But they won't stay long for as long as they did in Gansbaai, because in Gansbaai they stayed away for really like a couple of years where there was no sharks. And what the article mentioned was that during that same period, because great whites, they also prey on smaller sharks.
Yeah.
You know? And during that period, the fishermen on the side, they reported that they were also having fewer and fewer of these smaller sharks, right, that they were catching. So there was a period where those sharks had been probably, who knows, over-harvested, or the great whites had been over-hunting the area. There's lots of different reasons, but for whatever reason, these smaller sharks had moved off, and the great whites moved off, and everyone was blaming the orcas. And only after a couple of years that they realized, you know what, the orcas aren't here anymore. There's no great whites. It's the other smaller shark species or smaller shark and fish species that had moved away, and then slowly, with time, because the fishermen weren't fishing there anymore because it wasn't successful, the populations also increased after a while, and more people reported, hey, we're catching more fish here again. More of these little bronze sharks and so on. And then the great whites also started returning. So that was something interesting I read about. I mean, I've got no expertise in that, but it's something interesting. And you saying the orcas are here, that chases them away. And that is true, because they do move out of the area if there's bigger predators.
When there's danger, they will always.
But hopefully it won't be too long and they'll be back again then.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, it's still early in the season.
Yeah.
So maybe later they're probably going to come back again.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I've had, once again at Keurboom's with Jeff Westwood, is one of the local surfers here, old Bully. And me and Jeff, we were surfing, me and him and two other guys were surfing at Keurboom's again. And people have this idea about great whites being these vicious animals and whatnot. And I was just starting to get into the surfing, so I was still new. I love sharks though, but I'm very nervous, and I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with them. In any case, I'm out there, and next moment a great white swims up, right? We all see the great white. We all get together. Well, first it was me and Jeff. We got together. Jeff had a nice big longboard, so I felt safe next to him. I was like halfway onto his board, like, hi, Jeff. And the two other guys were a bit separated from us, so they got together. Shark swam right underneath our board. It wasn't even a big one, probably like 2.5 meters. But 2.5 meters, I know it doesn't sound long, but people that know sharks, you're looking at the girth of that thing.
Yeah.
It's a big shark. It's intimidating. So in any case, after the shark moves off, we all four get together, we chat, we're sitting behind the brake line again, we chat. We're too scared to move too much because you could attract the attention.
Yeah.
And the next moment, like 10 minutes later, this one guy's like, oh, my wave, and he goes off. And I think, okay, he's going to catch the wave and he's going to go out. No way, he catches the wave, goes out, and then he comes back in. Yeah. I'm like, huh? There was a great white here, guys. We need to get out, but I don't want to say it because I'm going to scare it. So now I'm like checking it, and I'm like, no, okay, so I can't go out now. I'm going to look like a little bitch. So I always make sure I'm not the first one to catch a wave. I'm not the last one out there alone. I'm just in the middle of the pack the whole time. But after that, I started having more and more of these encounters with the sharks. We've had encounters just here behind you at the wedge. We've had encounters just on the opposite side at the point while surfing. Yeah, at Lookout. And I mean, I've never seen any aggression coming out from them. So it's interesting as to why they attack and how they attack. I don't know. I mean, you're the more sharky guy. Do you have any clues or just a theory rather?
Like, I would say like sharks are my favorite, especially
nice.
great whites. They're my favorite.
I'm an orca lover though. I love killer whales.
I also love them, but the shark, the great white, is my
cool.
first one. Yeah. So, like I said, they're not really aggressive.
No.
I mean, they're also just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, but the nice thing with us is like, if you see something, we can use our hands to take it and check it out, what it is. With sharks, it's a different story because they don't have the hands. The only way to figure out what it is to take a bite on it. So I would say most of the time it's probably just a misunderstanding of identity. Okay. That's all. I mean, they don't eat us. I mean, there was how many shark attacks on humans, but they don't eat the body. They will take a bite, maybe a second bite, but they will swim away because they will realize that this is not actually.
Well, if I take a bite of someone, they crap themselves. I'm also not going to take another bite.
Yeah. But I would say it's just misunderstanding of identity.
Okay. Because I mean, like I said, the times that we've encountered them is when we spot them. Even down at Robert 5.
Robert Beach,
yeah, we were surfing there one time, and the lifeguards came out. And this was after a while, so after now I've realized, sharks aren't that bad. We used to surf the wedge, the wreck as well, which is like there at Robert.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sharks there, but I haven't actually seen a shark there once. I don't know why, or maybe just lucky, but we used to surf there a lot because the waves get very hollow there, so it's good for barrels.
Especially the wreck beach, I would say that's the main area for our sharks, but that's in shark season.
I haven't seen a single shark there. All my sharks have been around the rest of the beach.
But you also don't really surf in winter.
No, I do. I mean, that's the optimal time because the wreck beach, the thing is, it's so sheltered behind Robert, so you need the right angle of swell. And also you need the right height. It needs to be pretty decent swell. So if the swell was good, we used to surf there like a lot. That was my favorite spot as well. Because it's so far away, you don't get too many people surfing there. So I've got more choices for waves because I was never a very good surfer. And I would often paddle and miss a wave. And, if other people are there, like, oh, I could have caught that wave, man, why'd you miss?
Yeah.
So it made it better for me.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice, quiet place. I mean,
yeah,
but like I said, with our shark seasons, except for this year now, like I said, we don't really have lots of sharks, but all the other years, Plettenberg, it's where the wreck is. That was the spot where you will see most of your great whites. Plettenberg is also one of very few places in the world where you can actually sit on the rocks and look at a great whites about a meter and a half away from you.
Yeah, I've seen some clips from people walking there and taking these pictures as well. It's amazing.
Usually you will see lots of people just sitting there for the whole day with GoPros and just take videos and stuff of the great whites.
Yeah, I've seen some, they even put the GoPros in. Do you guys get the opportunity to sometimes get some nice underwater clips?
Yeah.
Is it?
We actually also have a GoPro with a long pole. So yeah, sometimes, especially when the animals get really curious and the visibility is beautiful, then sometimes we stick the GoPro in the water, take some nice clips of them.
No ways, that's cool. All right.
How's it, everyone? Just a quick break. If you're enjoying this show, please click down below, like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you a cent, and you can do it while watching the show. We really appreciate all the input from your side. So if you've got anything you want to let us know, comment down below.
We spoke earlier on about how rewarding it is for some people. You spoke about this guy coming and giving you this big hug. Would you consider that to be one of your favorite client interactions, or do you have something else, maybe like
I would say for me it's all about my people that I take out. So I will always take care of them because I mean they pay to do this activity. So I want them to be comfortable and also enjoy it. So that's for me my two important things on the trip.
All right, and we spoke a bit about like some of the rewarding times. You said the other day, like the whale came that close. But obviously, I mean, we work in nature, and obviously there can be times where the animals are hard to find. I mean, they're not in enclosures; they're in the open.
Yeah.
I have the same. Where some mornings you don't get the meerkat, when I was a field guide, I would often go out and you do maybe 2 back-to-back trips. The one trip you see everything: rhino, the buffalo, the elephant, everything.
And then the next trip you don't see anything.
Like I promise you, you get there, you offload your clients. And as you offload them, you load on the next line, so off you go. I'm like, I'm going to show you guys everything. And you get out there and there's nothing in the bush.
Yeah, I have to say, that's not a nice feeling. No. Because, I mean, you really want people to see what's going on out there. And, but like I said, a lucky thing for us is Robert Peninsula, our seal colony.
You've always got
the seals. The seals can also always make up for if we don't see dolphins or any whales, then at least they had a nice boat trip and also some seals to see.
Yeah, I mean, at least you have that as a kind of guarantee. Yeah. Now, another thing that might play a factor is obviously the swell in the ocean. Is there times that you can't go out?
Yeah.
So if the swell gets above a certain level?
Yeah, especially with the easterly wind.
Oh, yeah?
Mainly the only time that we can't go out, but we can't go out at all. Because it just makes the trip not really nice. It's going to be bumpy. People are going to get sick, they're not going to enjoy it. And I mean, that's not what you want for your clients.
No.
You want them to have a nice experience.
Oh, well, I mean, that's the whole thing is, even if you don't see something, if you don't see the animals and they enjoyed the trip, they enjoyed your presence, you talking to them, you're making jokes, at least they're going to be enjoying that, and it makes it a memorable experience. We've actually had it before where clients came with us on tour for the meerkats, and that day we didn't find the meerkats. I think it was raining or something, because the meerkats don't come out if it's raining. And then they went to another facility which also had meerkats, and they saw the meerkats. And they made this TripAdvisor comment. They said they went to both places. They saw the meerkats at the other place, but they still enjoyed our tour more. And just because of the interaction with the guides, I don't even think I was the guide at that point or their guide. But I mean, it depends on that guide, what type of effort he puts in. Is he... Smiling is always the best thing. So if you can get your clients to smile and enjoy the tour, you're funny, you tell jokes. I mean, it helps. So that's what you guys do as well. Is you have the seal colony, that helps. But you chat to the people. Do you give them information while you're going out here?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we have to give them some information about the animals, about the area, and all that. So yeah, I mean, like you said, I also had it a couple of times where you go out, don't see anything, and then when you come back, they will still come up to you and like, yo, that was a really nice trip, I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, that also makes you feel good about a trip, even if you didn't see anything.
There's like this special something that inside you that if people are happy with your tour, it makes you feel so good. Even though you feel like crap, you're like, oh, this was a crappy tour, it sucked.
And then someone come up to you and it's like...
And it changes your day, it does.
Just changes your day completely.
And that's the thing is sometimes clients also make or break a tour, because you get clients, they get on the boat maybe and they are just miserable from the get-go. They maybe had another bad experience early in the day, and you got to try and cheer this person up, and it takes a big toll on us as well, because you've really got to try your best to make this guy happy and nothing's working. It puts you in a downer mode, because I mean, I'm trying my best and I can't even get a smile out of the guy.
No, it happens.
It happens,
it really happens,
and it happens with like anyone. So it's really, I actually think tour guides need a degree in social, psychology rather. So you need to learn to understand people, and I mean, it is what it is, because sometimes people come up to you and they give you like, oh, I just had bad news. you got to try and cheer them up, or you got to do this tour, or I don't know. It's really hard.
Yeah, sometimes-
There's a boat
there's
coming
a
in.
boat coming in now.
I don't know if they're going to see it on the camera, but they're doing a little beach launch.
Yeah, that's how we operate there.
Nice. Okay. Now, so you generally go to the right, or do you go to Kibums as well if the dolphins are there? Maybe.
So with our dolphin season, we will always start off with Kibums
Okay.
because about 90% of the time that's where you will find all the dolphins.
Ah, nice.
And then we'll shoot across. We also have the bright whale here. It's our resident whale.
Okay.
So that's one you can actually see it right through the year. But most of the time it's spent some time offshore.
I've never seen one, so.
Oh, you never seen
Never,
it?
and I've been here for so long, so
Yeah,
I've
no,
never seen one.
Actually,
Awesome.
last year we had really nice sightings with bright
Okay.
whales. Really nice ones. Yeah, so we will shoot across the bay, maybe look for some bright whales, and then go over to the seal colony, and then make our way back to Tropic Beach all the way to Central. And then with whale season, always go straight to the point. If
Okay.
we don't have any whales in the bay, we will always head straight to the point, get some whales behind the point, and then come back to the seals and then make your way back.
All right. Now we've been talking about whale season a lot, and whale season is basically just the time that the whales come to our area. Why do they come here?
So obviously, their feeding grounds are down in Antarctica, where the water is much colder, much deeper. So for mating and calving seasons, they will always prefer the warm and shallower waters, which is down here all the
Okay,
way,
nice.
Tanzania, all those places. So that's the reason why they come here. It's mating and calving.
Nice. So they come calf here, and that means you often get to see some calves or some youngsters.
A lot.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
It's especially later in the season, because when they all making their way down from that side, Tanzania, Mozambique, all the warm waters areas, slowly make their ways along the coast. Plet is actually one of the places where they will come and just rest with the babies.
Oh, wow.
Because we have a nice little bay here. And sometimes they will stay here for 3 to 4 days and then make their way out of the bay again, all the way to Cape Town. Because they will just slowly travel, because they actually need to make sure that baby is strong enough and fat enough to swim from Cape Town to Antarctica, to all the cold water.
Wow,
again.
it's a big stretch.
Yeah. So when they're here, they just make sure that baby is fat enough. I don't know if you know that those calves will actually drink about 600 liters of milk every single day.
What?
Yeah.
600 liters.
Yeah, that's a lot of milk. That's
That
a lot
is
of milk.
a lot.
Yeah, but they have to, because they need to get fat to go back where their
Do all
mothers
that.
do and not to go.
When they're traveling, do they drink on the travel as well, or is it then like, okay, well, we're done drinking, we're traveling
Yeah,
now?
you're just traveling.
Wow. Okay, so they've got to make a big trek down.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And these young. Sorry, let's wait for the tractor to pass through. So, well, the tractor's going to go fetch the boat now. Just haul it
So
up
he's
here.
just going to drive underneath the his trailer's actually the side now.
Oh, he's going
So
to
he's
pick it
just
up.
going to hook up, drive underneath the boat, put the winch on, and then the winch it back.
Oh,
to the
okay,
boat.
nice.
And then he's just going to push it back.
All right. And is there? I only see. Oh no, there's another tractor. So you guys have your own tractor, or is it?
No, it's actually one company.
Okay, so it's one company that picks you up and
all the tractors.
so like the Pet Beach Club that's right here.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So the company that actually owns the tractors, it's Yamaha.
Oh
Yamaha.
yeah, I saw them the other day down next to that Yuko.
Yuko,
Yeah.
Just next to the entry.
Nice. All right. Well, let's just quickly wait for him to pass through.
No. Yeah, they have about 2 tractors here, and then the Pajero, the white Pajero.
Oh
there.
yeah.
So sometimes they will use the Pajero to push all the small boats.
Ah, okay.
But for the big boats, he has to use the.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you can get stuck here.
Yeah, no.
Now, the pods of dolphins. You spoke about the whales the other day. You saw, I think it was 12.
The killer whales.
No, yeah, the killer whales.
The
you
killer
saw
whales
12 of them?
was about 16 of them.
16.
Yeah.
And then the
The
humpbacks was
humpback
12.
whales. No, it was 22.
22. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So
But that
that's
was
big.
last year.
And then the dolphins. How big are the pods of dolphins that are around here?
I mean, with the bottlenose, because in Plet we're actually really lucky to see about 3 species of dolphins.
Okay, yeah.
So it will be your humpback dolphins, your bottlenose dolphins, and then the common dolphins. But your common dolphins is basically the same as the bright whales, mainly offshore.
Okay.
But sometimes they will come closer to the bay. So with your humpbacks, the humpbacks are actually one of the endangered species here in South Africa. So there's only about 500 of them left swimming the coastlines here. And then with the bottlenose, yeah, there's plenty of them.
Plenty.
So yeah, with them you can see them anywhere between 5 to about 200-300
Whoa, 300 in the same pot.
in the same pot. Yeah.
That's hectic.
Yeah, it's been a long time that we actually saw those big pots. So usually it will be between 5 to about 50, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean 2-3 years ago we had pots here that traveled about 200-300.
Wow. So, and the dolphins, are they also? Well, they are curious animals. Do they also sometimes swim up to the boat or like jump in the wake and things like that?
Yeah, bottlenose.
The bottlenose. Okay,
Bottlenose.
so specifically them.
Yeah, the humpbacks not really. They're quite shy. They're not really active. So your bottlenose will be the ones coming up to the boat. Sometimes do a bow riding where they will come right in front of the boat.
Wow.
See them jump out of the water, do some tricks and stuff. Yeah. Your common dolphins also really active. Really curious as well. So they also come up to the boat, and do some bow riding and all that.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it's just the humpback dolphins that are not really active.
So they're the lazy ones.
They're the lady ones, yeah.
I had an amazing encounter at the wreck as well. It was during one of the holidays, and it was quite a packed beach. And I was surfing, but the waves weren't too great, and there were so many people, so it wasn't really worth it. But I was sitting there, and one gentleman was there with his daughter, teaching his daughter to surf. He couldn't surf himself, but he was trying to get his little daughter, and his daughter was like 9-10 years old. And me and Cameron was there, and I told the guy, okay, you can go in, I'll grab her. I mean, I'm not doing much, I'll help her, push her on the waves and so on, because she couldn't paddle properly, so I had to push her on the waves. I said, don't worry, you can go in. And it's kind of weird, the random stranger allowed me to help his daughter, but I mean, he was right there on the beach, he could see everything we're doing. And working with this little girl, helping her to get going, and next moment these dolphins come in, and it was like 5 or 6 of them. And out of that whole crowd of people, they came straight to this little girl. They would like spy up, come out and look at her, and swim under her board all around. And it was so cool because I got to dive down and actually, like in the water, listen to them clicking, all the noises.
Dude, that's nice.
So that was so cool for me how they picked up this little girl, and I don't know, there was probably other kids, but they were a lot shallower in the water. So there was probably a lot of kids in, but she was one of the deeper kids, and it's interesting how they target onto that kid and came to her and literally come out of the water and like look at her and then go in again as of like, what the hell are you little thing? You're too young, you know? So that was quite cool. It's quite a cool experience, and it shows you how intelligent they are.
Yeah, really intelligent. I mean, I would say they're also one of the smartest animals you will actually find in the ocean.
And then the whales, right? You said there's the bright whales here throughout the year, but they're quite deep.
Quite deep.
Tell me more about the bright whale, because I have no clue about them. What do they do? How big are they?
So we don't really know a lot about the bright whales.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we actually gave them a nickname here in Plet.
Okay.
Now you see me, now you don't. So even the scientists, they don't really know a lot about them. Like as we know about humpback whales, and southern right whales.
Are they bigger, smaller?
No, they about the same length, but yeah, weight it's much they're much lighter with legs.
So they're more of like a skinny whale.
Yeah. So they can weigh up to about 20 tons, I would say, 18-20 tons. Where your humpback whales and southern rights, southern rights can get up to anywhere between 30 to 40 tons.
Wow.
You don't really see those big ones anymore. Because I remember the biggest southern right whale that I ever saw was about 20 meters long and about 80 tons.
Yeah.
But that's a long time ago. So you don't really see those big ones anymore. So yeah, now you would maybe see those between 30 and 40 tons ones. Yeah.
No, you piqued my interest now, because like I said, I can't recall ever hearing about the bright whales. And I pride myself in having a good general knowledge about all animals. Yeah. And I've never heard of it, so I'm going to go do some research. Thank you for that. It's cool.
last year.
Yeah.
Last year November until maybe March this year was the first time that I actually got nice sightings with right whales. I mean, I went out there one day with this same boat, Sabrina. I was out there and we had this right whale with a calf. Last year was also my very first time seeing a baby bright whale.
Oh, hectic.
Yeah, so we don't really get a chance to see the babies. It will always be the adults or the juveniles, but last year I saw a really, really tiny one. I mean, at first when I saw it, I thought it was a dolphin. Yeah, the same color as the humpback dolphins, that light gray.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And yeah, but we had that bright whale right next to the boat. He was swimming underneath the boat, come up on the other side, swim around the boat. And so we're only allowed to spend about 20 minutes with the animals here.
Okay.
So yeah, after my 20 minutes, I was like, okay guys, we're gonna take our seats. We're going to the seals now. And yeah, the whale took a dive and yeah, I slowly moved away from him. And yeah, he just couldn't let us go. He was keep on following the boat the whole time. I would say for maybe 400 or 500 meters, he was just following the boat.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, from bright whales, it's amazing because you don't really see that.
Do you know if the scientists are doing any research on them?
Yeah.
Is it? So they're busy working on tagging them.
Yeah,
and stuff
I actually, because of that young one that I saw last year, I actually came to one of the researchers here in Plet, and I actually asked her about the calving season for these animals. And she actually said to me that yeah, they can actually mate right through the year, not like the humpbacks and the southern right whales that only comes here between June and November. With the bright whales, they can get babies right through the year.
Oh, wow.
But they will always, most of the time, they will always try and get it just before the sardine run, because obviously when the baby is there, the mother has to produce a lot of milk.
Yeah.
So with a sardine run, she can actually then feed
the babies
and feed
herself. Is there so they are carnivorous then? So they hunt for sardines, you say?
Yeah.
Because southern whites are plankton feeders, right?
Plankton feeders.
Okay. So that's why they have in Antarctic. There's probably more plankton there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the southern whites also feed on small bait boats.
Oh, is it?
Bait fish, yeah.
Okay, no,
so
I
it's
don't
not
know
just
that.
on plankton and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting. I thought it was only the plankton that they ate. No,
I mean,
cool,
it's
man.
amazing when the year. I mean, they're almost here for like 4 or 5 months of the year. So for that period, they don't really gonna feed.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they live off reserves.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, after that, that's why they actually have to go back to Antarctica
To go
to
feed.
start feeding again. And
Hectic. That's amazing. I'm
like
actually
I said,
learning a
they
lot.
have to give a lot of milk to their babies every day. So
Now, interesting question. I don't know. Do you know the gestation period of the whales?
not really.
Not really. That's
Yeah,
something
okay.
interesting because I'm just thinking like in relation. So some animals have a very short gestation period and some obviously longer. And the bigger animals tend to have longer gestation periods. So I'm going to go look that up. But I know elephants. They are pregnant for up to about 22 months. So that's like almost 2 years
Yeah.
that they are pregnant. That's quite a long time for them to be pregnant. So I'm really curious to think whales.
I think for the whales, it's also. I think it's about a year.
A year.
Yeah. I think.
All right, so nice and long.
Yeah. I think it's for a year because sometimes they will come here. For example, like others will come here to give birth, and others will come to mate.
Okay.
So the ones that comes here to mate, next year they're gonna come back and give birth to them.
So they're alternating.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's how it.
No, that's cool. Well, Jason, I've actually learned a lot. Thank you very much.
No worries.
And
man.
it's nice
Glad-
meeting you.
that's
Thanks for
really
joining
nice.
and thanks for helping us on the podcast.
No, it
and,
was nice chatting with you as well.
Yeah, if you guys are ever in Plet, come down to Ocean Blue.
Yeah, you
can-
guys have to try the whale and dolphin watching out with us.
That's it. Jason
really
said
nice
he guarantees them.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't show you anything, he'll give you a full refund.
No, you can't say
No.
that.
No, I'm joking. But okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it.
That's really nice meeting you, man.
Lekker.
So,
Man, baie dankie. Ek waardeer dit. Dit is awesome.
yeah, it was nice.